Hello and welcome to another episode of Talk of the Boat. I'm your host, Robert Yazbek with Team Yazbek at Coldwell Banker. And today we have the distinct pleasure of meeting with local legend Johnny Spillane. Johnny's an ultra accomplished world champion athlete, born and raised in Steamboat Springs that holds 3 Olympic medals in the Nordic combined event. He retired from the Nordic combined on April 18th, 2013, and bought a local fly fishing company called Steamboat Flyfisher later that year. Johnny, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you said you didn't want to talk too much about skiing, but I have to congratulate you, though, for being honored into the Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame.
Yeah, thanks.
A couple years ago.
A pretty exciting deal. We actually had it all pushed back significantly because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I was inducted officially this last spring, went up to Sun Valley, had my whole family with me. They got to come up on stage. It was quite the honor.
That's great, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So we'll get into more business stuff. But what was it like growing up in Steamboat and what made you get into the fly fishing business?
Well, I was just really lucky to be from here and be born here and grow up here, and just all the opportunities that you have, whether it's, obviously the skiing stuff, but just if you really like anything outdoors, Steamboat has a good avenue for you to pursue that sport.
No question.
So I grew up fishing with my dad, and we learned together. I started guiding kind of really more for just something that was not skiing in the summertime. So I started guiding in about 2000 with Steamboat Flyfisher, and I did more kind of as the years went by, and just kind of fell in love with the atmosphere. I really liked the business. I've always been interested in businesses, and when I was retiring from skiing, the opportunity came up to purchase Steamboat Flyfisher.
Yeah.
I was able to put that together, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's incredible. And then recently you've merged with, or, basically took over Bucking Rainbow.
Yep.
And moved to a new building right in the center of downtown on Yampa Street, right on the Yampa River.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal.
How's that been?
Working with the Duty brothers who owned Bucking Rainbow previously, and purchasing this new space, it's really kind of changed the business a little bit. We've had to. We've had the ability to grow. One of the things about the fishing industry in general is there's a finite amount of resources, whether it's, public water permits or just really where you can take people fishing. Yeah. So part of that merger with them allowed us to grow in that direction and really boost our guiding business and offer, one of the bigger guiding services really in the country at this point, in terms of the amount of water and the amount of opportunities we can offer people.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been, and then the new location, we were always in Downtown Steamboat, but we were just outside of the main kind of walking district. Now we're in that area.
Right.
And really liking it so far. The new shop's been phenomenal. The location's great. It's easy for people to get to. It's very visible. Yeah. And our backyard is literally the river. I mean, you can walk out of the shop's back door and cast a rod and catch a fish. So it's pretty unique and pretty special.
That's incredible. So you got people out there doing casting clinics and stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
right from the shop? Or
we certainly can.
Yeah.
Yep, we certainly can. We have a big deck that we can use, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's great. And you're being humble. I mean, you guys are the center of downtown, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, it's a really good spot.
It's the core.
We're really happy with it. It was a process getting in there. I think we've seen construction being challenging for everyone at this point.
Yes.
And we were no exception.
Right.
But it was worth the wait.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a beautiful building and beautiful space, man. I've been in there. It's awesome. Congrats on that. So let's see, fill us in on your mission at Steamboat Flyfisher and the services you offer here in the Yampa Valley.
Yeah, so we're a full fly fishing retail store, carrying everything from fly tying products, to the most expensive rods you can offer. We've got a good mix of different products in the store for every type of angler, both a beginner and advanced angler. And that's really, I guess when you talk about mission of the shop, that's our goal. We want to provide a fun experience to any level of angler, whether the most experienced that there is, or if you're completely new to the sport. I mean, we probably take, I would say 30 to 40% of our guided trips are with someone who has never held a fly rod before. Wow. So we're very good at taking someone who has no experience whatsoever and showing them how to really have fun on the river.
Yeah. Love it. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, a lot of our clients, are doing that when they're in town, visiting and stuff. So
we're just so lucky here to have, we have 2 really phenomenal rivers between the Yampa River and the Elk River.
Yeah.
And they can offer different experiences. So it's, we have a lot of different really cool places for people to go fishing.
Yeah, and you said that you guys have, arguably the most water to fish on in the country. How did that? I mean, can you quantify that at all?
Yeah,
or?
it's been a work in progress, but we have a lot of different places to take. We probably have 60, 70 miles of private water access at this point, which I don't really know of any places that have that much.
Wow, that's insane.
So we really can, you can fish with us for years and still not fish the same properties over and over and over again. It's, we have different places and new and fun places, and we have places that are more, tailored for a beginner versus some that would require a more advanced angler. So there's something for everybody.
Yeah. That's incredible. Well, I guess that, makes sense, right? A world champion athlete get into the fly fishing business. So no surprise. So what's a typical day in the life of a professional athlete running a retail and fly fishing business?
It's busy, especially, in the summertime. I've also got 3 children that we're raising here in town. So that adds a whole nother element to it. But
what's your day to day?
My day is I'm usually in the summertime when we're really, truly busy. I'll be there 6:30, 6:45. We'll try and get prepared for the trips that will be going out, try and get those trips out first thing in the morning. And we'll have, on a busy day, we'll have 25 or 30 guides going out. So it's really just trying to get people and have them have a good experience in the store and get them out on the river, because that's what we want them. We want them to be out there enjoying their time here in Steamboat on the water. So usually that'll go till 9:30, 10 o'clock. We'll get all the trips out, and then you have about an hour of break before it starts getting busy with people shopping in the retail store. So and that will generally carry on till closing, when we close at 6 o'clock at night. And so we'll finish up the day, kind of close everything down, and just be prepared for the next day.
So you're there day in and day out.
Yeah, for the most part.
Are you guiding at all? Are you getting out?
No, I kind of had to hang up my guiding hat when we grew to the degree that we did. I still get out from time to time, but there's guys who are certainly on the water a lot more than I am at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you get to fish a little for recreation?
I do. I have to be a little bit more picky, and I can kind of choose. I'm certainly fishing when I want to be. Right. But there are also days when I wish I was out there where I'm stuck in the office.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. So how has your work ethic from, your competition days in the world stage affected your business?
Well, I think it was, really what I learned from skiing that I've been able to bring into the business world is just how to effectively, get the most out of the people that you're working with. I never went to college, went straight from my skiing career straight into, the business world, and was able to kind of take the lessons I learned from skiing and apply them fairly directly to what we were doing in our businesses. So for me, it was a fairly easy transition. I didn't ever have any regrets about retiring. It was pretty clear to me that it was time to move on. I was on the national team for 16 years. So that was enough, and I was ready to do something different. And this was a great fit. I was able to kind of go right into being my own boss, doing something that I love to do. And I've enjoyed it since.
That's great. You said it, man. Getting the most out of the people that you work with. That's key. It's all about the people.
It's a fun place to work. I mean, it's a fly shop and a fishing shop. It's supposed to be a fun environment. We try and make a point to keep it that way.
Nice. That's perfect. Excellent. So what are some of your biggest challenges in business, and how are you overcoming them?
Yeah, really the biggest challenge is it's going to be around affordable housing in Steamboat.
Right.
For being able to have folks that can afford to live here, especially where a lot of fishing guides are, either younger people out of college, you have, the younger families, that kind of thing. That is certainly something that's very, very visible on my radar right now when we're looking at, as a business, how can we continue to move forward? Well, really, it's helping our employees being able to make a good enough living to be able to afford to live in Steamboat. And it's certainly proven more challenging. I think there's projects on the horizon in our community that will have a positive impact on that. But all that kind of remains to be seen. So we'll have to see. But that is certainly at forefront in my mind when we're looking at the business.
No question. Have you come up with any solutions or working on anything you want to share with the house?
I haven't. I think it's it's certainly, it's just challenging is what it is right now. We've all seen it. We all know it. But I think just recognizing that is an issue that the community is facing is a really good step in the right direction.
Yeah, no question. Makes sense. Speaking of the community, how do you guys get involved in the local community and contribute?
It's fun. I mean, I really enjoy doing stuff with kids.
Yeah.
We try and do free clinics every spring. It depends a little bit on what the weather does and runoff and all that type of thing. But, historically, we've always done 2 to 3 free clinics every year where they're,
Great.
It's one day, it's completely cost-free. We do one for an open class that anybody can join. We do one that's women only, which that one's always a lot of fun because there's a lot of enthusiasm and it's always a great group of women that come out and do it.
That's great.
And then we've been, the last couple of years, been doing a kids one also.
Awesome.
So for me, that's a lot of fun. It's just a way to introduce people to the sport, no pressure, just a good time.
Yeah.
And then, I do a lot of volunteer work with various organizations in town.
Yeah. That's awesome. How young do you get the kids out there?
Fishing?
Yeah.
Oh, I think fishing in general, there's no time that's too early.
Right.
Whether it's,
but
going out and
fly
fishing.
fishing.
But for fly fishing, I think we try and, for our guided trips, unless somebody really wants to go at a younger age, we kind of say that 8 or 9 year old range is where we can have their attention for a long enough period of time to really give them a good experience.
Yeah.
Any younger than that, it gets harder. But we offer half day trips and full day trips. Half day trips, 4 hours. So if you think about your child and if you can hold their attention for 4 hours on something, they're probably ready.
Right.
If not, it's maybe better to wait a year.
That makes sense. Perfect. Yeah. All right. So what's next for you and your business?
Well, really learning more about this new space that we're in and what that means to what we can and can't sell. It's an interesting first summer. We've only been in there since July.
Yeah.
So we're kind of taking all the data we compiled from our sales this summer and seeing how that's changing in this new location. We've seen a big change already. A lot more folks who may or may not have ever wanted to go into a fly fishing shop, but because of where we are, they're coming in and seeing what we have to offer. And so kind of learning about that consumer and learning about, what they might want to see in a store like ours it's been fun. It's a new challenge and it's exciting to see where it will go.
Yeah, that's great. You got such an incredible location and it's just a magnet for people walking by there, I'm sure. So that'll be fun to figure out how to maximize that space, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're liking it, and it's a new challenge, and like I said, I think there's a lot of potential for what we can do moving forward.
That's great, good deal. So we got some early season snow.
Yeah,
mountain's looking pretty good for now. I don't know how much you get out skiing, but
it's been fun now that I've kind of gone away from the competitive side, and I kind of stepped back from the skiing world for a few years right after I retired. Just trying to establish what I'm going to be doing with my life. But now my kids are of the age where they're really fun to ski with.
Yeah.
My 12-year-old and my 10-year-old, they're both phenomenal on the mountain. We can ski the whole thing as fast as we want.
Yes.
And then skiing with my son, who's 5, he's still learning. And to me, that's what I really enjoy about skiing now. Is going out there with them and seeing their smiles.
That's awesome, man. So what are you looking forward to this upcoming winter season?
I'm hoping for a whole pile of snow.
Yes.
We're still in a drought situation. And I think last year we're getting a little bit closer to average. And, we had such a rough few years that, even a below average year still felt good. It felt like, we had a ton of snow last year.
Yep.
And it'd be nice to see that continuing to come back if it ever does.
Absolutely. And how about the business? What's the business look like in the wintertime?
It's certainly slower in the wintertime, as you would expect. December and January are pretty quiet months around the shop. It's cold outside. It's dark. It's fishing might not be the top priority for everybody coming to visit. But then once we get into, February and March and the weather starts getting nicer again, warms up a little bit, we actually get fairly busy again. And March is a big month for us, and partly because it's phenomenal fishing in March, and into the early parts of April. And people over the last 7, 8, 9 years have really discovered that. Nice. And now people are purposely coming to Steamboat in March and early April just to go fishing. And they might actually just be tacking a couple of days skiing on in addition to that. Where fishing has become a little bit more of a focus that time of year. And so we've really looked at that pretty closely, and it's certainly more challenging, and there's a lot more that goes into it in the wintertime versus the summer, but it's also a really cool experience. I mean, we're taking people into these snowy canyons on snowmobiles to go fishing, and it's something that you wouldn't be able to do most other places. So it's something very unique, I think, that we offer that a lot of places don't.
Yeah, that's incredible. Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming, man, and congrats on all your success.
Right. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Talk of the Boat. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Talk of the Boat. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe on whatever platform you're viewing, like, and share with somebody else you think might enjoy it. We'd really appreciate that. Also, if you have any real estate related questions that you'd like us to answer on the air, please send those to us by email, text, or direct message. And as always, if you have any real estate questions or needs that we can help you with, please reach out. Thank you.